If you're buying or selling a home in Greater Palm Springs, this rule can actually affect your closing timeline, and most people do not realize it applies until it is almost too late. I'm breaking down the very new FinCEN reporting requirement, when it applies to real estate transactions, and how it can impact your closing. Let's get into it now. Hey, it's me, Stefan, the Desert Bowtie agent. I create content to demystify the Greater Palm Springs region real estate market while sharing the perks and the realities of the desert lifestyle. Because I love what I do, but more importantly, I believe real estate should be fun and easy. I post videos like this every other week. Hey, today we're talking about FinCEN reporting and what buyers and sellers need to know. FinCEN is a federal agency focused on preventing money laundering and illegal financing activity. New rules now require certain real estate transactions to be reported to them before closing. The important thing to understand is that this does not apply to every transaction. Most transactions will never trigger this requirement, but when it does apply, timing becomes important. FinCEN reporting is generally required only when all three of these conditions are met. First, the property is residential. This includes single-family homes, condos, some mixed-use properties, and even vacant land if it is intended for residential use. Second, the purchase is not financed by a transactional lender. This means no federally chartered bank or credit union. This is common with all cash purchases, private money loans, investor financing, or seller carryback deals. Third, the buyer is not an individual person. The buyer is an entity. This is the most important part. That could be an LLC, even a single member LLC, a corporation, a partnership, or a trust. When all three of those line up, FinCEN reporting is required unless a specific exemption applies. Where this catches people off guard is with entity buyers using cash or private financing. That combination shows up often in the desert, especially with investment properties and second homes. Fun fact, about 50% of real estate transactions here in the desert are cash or a cash equivalent. Hey, please subscribe if you find this helpful. Now, let's talk about timing, because this is where problems happen. When FinCEN reporting is required, all of the information has to be submitted and approved at least 72 hours before closing, not business days, actual hours. If the information is not completed in time, the closing does not happen as scheduled. That's simple. That is why title companies and escrow teams push hard to get this information early. Waiting until the last minute will cause delays that frustrates everyone. If reporting applies to your transaction, you will receive secure instructions explaining exactly what information is required. Once everything is submitted and approved, the transaction can move forward normally. The process itself is not complicated, but it does require cooperation and quick responses. A lot of buyers worry about privacy, which is completely understandable. The information collected is handled through secure, federally compliant systems that are usually nationwide. This is standard for transactions that fall under these rules. The biggest takeaway here is awareness. If you're buying or selling using an LLC, trust, or other entity, and especially if there's no traditional financing involved, this is something you'll want identified early in the process. It doesn't mean that your deal is risky. It does not mean that anything is wrong. It just means that there is an extra compliance step that needs to be handled correctly and on time. If you're thinking about whether FinCEN reporting could apply to your transaction, I'd love to continue this conversation. There's a link below where you can schedule a call with me. And please pass this on to a friend or family member who's looking to buy or sell in the desert. And now watch this awesome video about dining in Palm Springs. Bye! I create content to demystify the Greater Palm Springs region. If you find this info, help. Where this catches people off guard is with required. My phone was ringing. I forgot to. I hope that didn't. That's rude. I have to ad-lib the outros. Hope that's a good ad-lib.